And this one is we got a lot of predictions coming from big names right now. And this one is actually not from an active fighter. It comes from Bernard Hopkins, and he basically put his prediction out for what everybody knows is coming, which is a third fight between Canelo Alvarez and Golovkin. And I'm noticing the level of disrespect that is coming down, pretty much aimed at Golovkin is really kind of shocking. Now, I'm not dying on the Golovkin heel or anything like that, but I am a bit taken aback by this seemingly string of disrespect for him. So we have former trainer Abel Sanchez saying that he's worried about his well-being for a third fight. We've got people from Golden Boy's camp. Obviously, they're going to say this, but Bernard Hopkins is saying that he sees that Canelo's going to knock Golovkin out in the third fight. He just, no doubt, no question in his mind, he's going to knock him out. And I understand. So don't get me wrong. I'm not putting too much stock into Golden Boy predicting their guy to win and their guy to win definitively. That's just what promotional teams and that sort of thing, that's what they do. That's what, to a degree, that's what they're supposed to do, right? But when you group it in with all of the other chatter that's coming in that seems to be anti-Golovkin, and anybody that knows has followed my writing and my coverage of Golovkin, everybody knows I was the last person to give Golovkin like the stamp of approval that everybody else was getting. I can even remember talking to Bernie Barmacel before, and him telling me, "Hey, you just don't want to give Golovkin any credit." And I'm like, I remember this like from years before. It was right before the Jacobs fight. He was like, "So you just don't think he's a good fighter?" I was like, "No, I didn't say that. I just said he hasn't really beaten anybody yet." So I'm not like this hardcore Golovkin fan that's fighting for his respect. But I am saying, how are so many people convinced that a guy that we've never even seen been buzzed is going to get knocked out by a guy he's already fought twice and who has never really ever hurt him? How are we that sure about this? Now, somebody said, "Oh, he's going to beat him." I get it. I totally get that. But he's going to knock him out? And you're sure? You're concerned for his well-being? You're sure? More than another fight? What is it that's happening with this third fight that has everybody so like this? So I can't wait to hear what you got to say in the championship rounds about that. But that's just kind of, that's a head scratcher.
I mean, my take is, number one, I don't know why B-Hop, I don't know why Bernard feels the need that this fight needs some extra selling. Like somehow the extra selling of a third Golovkin fight by Bernard Hopkins coming out and saying that he's going to knock him out, and
QC.
I mean, quarantine crazy. Here's the thing. Who knows? I mean, this is boxing. Knockouts happen. Anything can happen. Fighters get old overnight. Maybe that's in his mind, right? But it just seems like now what's happening is we're getting a lot of sound bites, a lot of headlines, simply to keep a conversation going. I don't think that this third fight needs any extra ammunition to keep this fight going.
Right.
I think it's interesting enough to just really, I think the first two fights had so many question marks still, because the first fight was a draw. I thought Triple G won. A lot of people thought Triple G won. The second fight was very close. I think in the end, you could make an argument either way, but you can easily make an argument that Canelo came out, made the adjustments from the first fight, kind of surprised Golovkin a little bit and won the fight. So I didn't see anything overwhelming by Canelo in the first two that would lead me to believe that he's going to come out here and now and all of a sudden beat Golovkin by knockout. The other thing is this: even with Golovkin's poor performance, and I shouldn't even say that because it's discrediting Derevyanchenko, and I don't want to do that. Okay.
Yeah, and I kind of thought that the first time you said that, but I didn't mention it. But yeah, I don't think it was that as much as he fought well.
Yeah, and I don't want to do that because at the end of the day, Derevyanchenko lost a split decision to Danny Jacobs. And he overcame a cut within the first 2 rounds and a knockdown, arguably maybe even win the fight against Triple G.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, I've never seen Triple G buzzed. I've never seen him staggered. Never seen him put in a position to where I thought, well, maybe he's going to go this round. Or maybe he's going to go the following round, or maybe he's going to run out of gas. Even though he has that weird breathing style that sometimes make it looks like he's gasping for air.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that those comments of the knockout, first of all, here's another thing. So we did see a 175-pound Canelo stop Sergey Kovalev.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what Sergey Kovalev was there that night.
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay. The other thing is this: they're not fighting at that weight class.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I don't think Golovkin even accepts 68. Would he accept 5? Maybe. Maybe he accepts 65. Maybe in order for this fight to happen, they told him, look, it's going to have to happen at a catch weight, and it's going to be at 65. I don't know. This is just me purely guessing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Canelo possesses the power at that weight to stop Triple G. Now, that's just my opinion. And it wasn't so much, do I think it can happen or not happen? Anything can happen in boxing. I'm just wondering why Bernard Hopkins feels the need to come out and make such a bold statement. Maybe to get the response that he's getting from us, so we talk about it. Right. So that we get the interest going, so that we get talking about it. So it's like, hey, you know what? Go say something quarantine crazy to get people talking about this fight, because we need to keep that fire burning until we're actually able to make that fight.
Right.
So maybe we're playing into, maybe Bernard's sitting back saying, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit of what you were talking about when you were talking about Charlo. You know, a lot of times fighters or someone doesn't know what really truly is, what the level of hype required is for a fight. And so social media is like this great barometer now. You mentioned this on a segment a few weeks back. Sometimes you throw something out there to see what the response is.
Yeah, and we took the bait. We're taking the bait today.
How much buzz is created. And if Bernard can get enough people talking about that, then maybe it moves the needle a little bit more. Maybe just off of general principle, the third fight is a 1.1 million pay-per-view buy event. Just off with no, extra super dramatics, sort of things being said or done in the pre-fight. But maybe if he can push the initiative of Canelo's going to knock him out, Canelo's going to knock him out. Now that raises the intrigue to 1.25 million homes. Mm-hmm. Just because of that. Is 250,000 more pay-per-view buys worth it? Probably is. So,
look, the talk is free.
The talk is free. And so it's all profit, because he's not going to hurt it. Saying that stuff is certainly not hurting nobody's saying, what Bernard said he's going to knock him out. I don't think
I'm not watching.
I'm not going to buy it. So it's,
well, theoretically, you shouldn't have to buy it if it's on DAZN.
Yeah, it's on DAZN. So I'm not going to subscribe. So I was thinking about subscribing to DAZN, but after Bernard said that, I don't know what to do. So it's not going to happen. So, I just, I to a degree, it's like this. Some of this quarantine talk is irritating because it's so implausible, and that it's just nothing but rhetoric. But some of it is entertaining and some of it is cool, and it keeps the fire going because there is nothing going on right now. And because we do know that Triple G Canelo 3 is gonna happen. Right. This one doesn't fall into the category of rhetoric. It's just another thing for a fight that we know is coming. Right. But when we got people fighting at flyweight for PBC, calling out a middleweight for who's signed with Matchroom, I'm like, why do I care?
Quarantine crazy.
Quarantine crazy.